So as we're looking at digital libraries, mine is the Lincoln Net Digital Library. Let me get to the home page. I apologize that it's not there to start. The digital library's URL is digital.lib.niu.edu/Illinois/Lincoln. And the mission, this library itself kind of has an about section, the terms of use and scholarly contributions, participating institutions, but it doesn't have a specific mission listed. The greater library has their mission listed in their collection development policy. So the NIU library consists of unique digital collections that support teaching and research mission of the university. And I won't just bore you by reading the whole thing. Basically, the core things that they're doing is curating more digital assets, migration of legacy into new frameworks, best practices and procedures for dealing with born digital materials, and researching new technologies and methods that extend beyond traditional research, including support for digital humanities projects. So this is a digital humanities project as it is going over Abraham Lincoln. So when you're looking at him and this library itself, it's a free and open web page. So it is part of the NIU Digital Library, so it's geared towards their college students, their researchers, and also educators in the state of Illinois, because it's a collaboration for a lot of different organizations. So if we look at the About page, you can see the list is, here's your project team, but then you've got down here specific scholars, music performers, so they've got music that they've kind of taken the sheet music and then played it. And then you've got your sponsors and participating institutions. So there are a lot across the state of Illinois, and then various different trusts and things that are providing grant funding for it, including the Institute of Museum and Library Services. So when you're looking at it, it's very much so collaboration, not just NIU itself. And it really cooperates, excuse me, with digital libraries all across Illinois, keeping up to date if anyone finds anything. And it really allowed all of those institutions to take the information they had about Lincoln and put it together, which is quite fantastic if you're looking at Lincoln and trying to find your primary source documents. So it contains mostly still images of primary source documents. It also contains some videos and some audio files. And I think in 5 years, as we're looking at it, we're still going to contain many of the same items. And the collection development policy here, it doesn't have their specific one, but it's going to be part of that larger library. So when you look at it, they've got their criteria. It's pretty long. Again, not going to just read the whole collection development policy. But when you look here, there's one based on just this one here. It is fully preserved at this point in time. So they started the project, and now everything that they wanted to digitize is completely digitized, which is awesome. And so when you come back to your homepage, the organization is interesting because it's more like a web page at first. So you click, it's got various organizations and historical themes to look at, articles written up, your secondary sources giving you some background. And then it's got specifically his biography, but it also has things pertaining to him. If you want to get into the nitty gritty, there are two places that you'll go. You click on media. Media takes you to videos, which is cool if you're using them in the classroom. So you can play them straight from here, or you can kind of save that link. The metadata here gives you good information. And then you've got your primary source materials themselves. And so each one, right here, it's the Abraham Lincoln Historical Digitization Project, 7,221 items. Fantastic. We're just going to click on item 1 just to give us an idea of what it'll look like. So here, the image doesn't automatically load. However, gives us the information on it, and then you can click on page image, and it gives us the page. And so you see this one's labeled as doxology. There are 3 things on the page. Down here is, at the bottom, is the one that we're looking at. So as we go back to the home page, what we can see is that the metadata was pretty intense. You can also search. Searching isn't as great because It gives you everything from all of the projects. So it's not just Abraham Lincoln, but you can narrow it down by your collections, and things can be in multiple collections, which is great for researchers that are researching multiple things. So if you want to add information to this, so say you have something that you can add, if you go here and you click on digitization request, anybody in the public can request, and they'll have somebody review it and get back to you on your digitization. So if any of you have stuff on Lincoln that's a primary source, click on that and add it there. So lastly, let's look at the services. It's a free access website, as you can see. The searching tends to be, as I showed you, the entire digital library, not just the Lincoln collection, but you can kind of do more advanced searches if you want to get down into the nitty gritty. And browsing is set up, as we saw, more based on topics. They do have reference services. So in the About section, when you come back to it, you'll say, okay, questions, contact us. The problem is with the Contact Us button is that it sends you to an email, and then the title of the email is like Mark Twain. So that's a little bit of an issue. Otherwise, totally understandable. They use, as far as technology, they use Islandora. They actually have in their digitization guidelines, they have how they store the documents before they upload them to those servers. So right here, again, I'm not going to just read it specifically to you. Information on computer network aren't there, but most of the digital library here is using that Islandora system and a graphics interface. And as far as security, there's no login, there's nothing along those lines. All you have to do is just make sure that you're in a good browser and it's got the lock. So that's the Lincoln Net Digital Library. I definitely suggest looking at it if you're interested in Abraham Lincoln at all.